Senses. It's time to learn about our big community. It's time for member interviews.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Member Interviews. Not doing as many as we probably should be, but I think today is a pretty special one, so why not? Let's do it. We have, what can I call this guy? Dion. We have Dion Wade joining us. Some of you may know him as a apparent king, but today we're just going to call him Dion. All gimmicks aside, Dion's a pretty cool dude. We talk quite often behind the scenes, despite our on-screen rivalry. So yeah, let's get to know Dion a bit and leave a lot of the king stuff out of it. Welcome to the stream, Dion.
Hey mate, how you doing?
How's it?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. I'm loving that shirt. I wonder who got you that.
Secret Santa. Can I say who it was?
Yeah.
Well, I guess now it's all done and sort of dusted. Thank you again, Paki. Awesome. I was just saying to Matt, just before we started, and I was just saying, at the time I didn't have enough time when I was doing the Secret Santa to actually read and take in everything it said, because it actually says so many words across here. But once I'd read it and realized it was the promo that Punk did for AEW when he came in, I thought, wow, how sick is that? That is really cool, really special. So thank you again, Paki. Stoked with the shirt and the hoodie. So really
That's
cool.
it, man. Nah, that's cool. And the hoodie as well, amazing stuff.
Oh yeah, awesome. It's just so hot. Otherwise, I would be wearing the hoodie.
I bet. Well, I mean, I know I said we'd leave a lot of the king stuff away.
He can't help himself.
Let's get that stuff out of the way first, eh?
Because
I mean, I don't know if other people are interested in how it all came about, but I mean, we were talking off screen a week. We were trying to piece together how it actually came about again. So I guess in your words, tell us the story about how the whole king rivalry gimmick type thing came about. Because obviously I was the king as a joke beforehand, and then we turned it into something. What happened?
Yeah, well, I think we're still trying to work it out, really, to be fair. I mean, it kind of almost traces back to when I first started collecting AEW, and I didn't really know anyone in the group. And I gave you a message because I was like, well, okay, this guy knows his AEW stuff. He's got a chase figure. He seems to be the one posting about AEW stuff. So I asked you, and I talked to you about getting MJF. At that time, I didn't have any chases, and I thought, I was looking around, seeing what the story was with chase figures and things. And yep, okay, well, he's affordable. And then I asked your advice in it, and at the time, you're like, nah, don't do it, man. Just don't do it.
And just to clarify, it was literally because it's just a slippery slope, man. Like, once you get one, you want to get them all, and you've got that bug now. We'll get into that later.
Once that rabbit hole's open, mate, yeah.
That's it. And it's not a cheap rabbit hole either, unfortunately.
No. So anyway, that was kind of where it started, and then from there, I started building up more chase figures and things like that, and then I posted, and I was a member of a couple different groups, and I posted some chases as I started collecting them along the way, and people started taking notice. And people were starting to mention it, and word was getting back to you. And then we were sort of talking, and then it's like, okay, we might have to sort of do something with this whole king thing. And then the belt got involved.
Just backtracking slightly, I think the conversation started because you were like, I have this, and this on the way right now. And then off memory, I was like, okay, don't post it. Let's do something with this. And the ultimate payoff will be you being like, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. What do you have?
Yeah. And then it turned into, okay, let's bum you out on a show and do this. And, yeah. And that's sort of how it all came about. And then, as I was saying, then the belt came into it as well, and we managed to tie that in because
Yeah.
you had your bits and pieces. And when I spoke to you about it, you're like, oh, who asked who about the belt? Because you were saying, oh, I hit you up and said, oh, can I buy it off you? But I was like, no.
It was one of those weird ones where someone messaged someone at like 2 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, well, I'm actually going to look and try and sell this belt. Do you want it?
Yeah. I need some money to get this. I don't know if you can talk about it, but
well, not right now. We'll talk about it later. Give it a few months.
needed money to get something special. We'll say that.
Yeah, that works.
And then, you hit me up and said, oh, would you be interested in this AEW belt? And I was like, oh, I don't really collect belts. And then we're talking. It's like, oh, it might be cool. What do you want for it? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. And then we ended up cutting a deal. And then it was a case of, well, before I send it to you, I'm going to do this video and we'll put this into the show. And then, so that all sort of tied in together as well. And then from there, it just sort of kept going forward. So,
and the thing is, like, I don't know how it portrayed on screen, but nothing was like realistically scripted. It was more of a this is the end result, and then things kind of happen throughout. And we're like, when I sold you the belt, I was like, oh, actually, I'll just record this. I don't know when I'll need it, but just in case. And I showed you it. You laughed at it, and that was the main thing. We were just trying to pop each other, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Whenever we come up with something, the two of us between us just think it's hysterical. And, end of the day, it's like, well, if no one else finds it funny, at least between the two of us, we've had a good laugh about it, It may totally go flat and just tank, And, but I don't know. We seem to get a kick out of it. So I guess
that's the main thing.
It goes for as long as it goes until we decide to kill it off, I guess, or the king.
I can't wait to kill you off, mate.
Annoys too many people, or
So Waiheke wants to know, Dion, did you decide to surpass Matt after he was sharing his collection, or were you already collecting AU figs from the get-go? So you've half answered this, I guess.
It was just sort of a case of I asked Matt for advice, and then I like I said, I just ended up going down the rabbit hole. Really, you get one, and then it's like, oh, you get a taste for it. Oh, I quite like that. I might get some more, and it just it kept going from there. And it wasn't really even a rivalry thing. I mean, behind the scenes, we talk about everything that we sort of get, and share between each other and stuff, and sort of give each other credit and praise, and you're doing this, that's awesome, you got this coming, give each other shit, and
so I guess so to kind of
never really been a competitive thing
slightly. Were you collecting the AEW mainline before you started getting the chasers?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the very first set I got was Series 2 Unrivaled, which I got off Logan. He just happened to have one set left, and I thought, oh, okay, these are in New Zealand, because I didn't honestly think we were going to see them in the country when I started seeing them pop up on AEW, and then I was like, oh, these are actually obtainable. Wicked, I might get into it. And I started with 2, and then I thought, well, I'm going to need to try and get 1, so I had to look on eBay, and luckily I found someone Trade Me, and combination of eBay and Trade Me, and then I managed to get a legit set of Series 1, and then I just kept working the rest of the way up from there. And now,
and here we are.
Now I'm waiting on Series 8. So
Waiheke wants to know, how long did it take for you to grow your beard for that King promo the other night?
It grows very fast. So fast.
1 minute you don't got it, the next you do.
Within a day, it's back again. Same with the hair; it just grows out of control. So grows.
I like this question. Would you create a mint on card AEW signed figure collection?
Would I create? I think I would get Matt to do it with all the custom stuff you do. like all the stuff I've seen you come out with. I think I'd commission you to do something for me, to be honest.
Also, I think the question with that is would you try and do a mint on cards signed collection? Like
signed. Sorry, I thought you said side. Sorry, my bad. My phone. I thought you said side collection.
No, signed.
Signed. Tricky. I would love to have some signed stuff. And I really hummed and hawed at that derby on Shop AEW, and you and me talked about it quite a lot, but the price was just so up there. I guess my biggest fear is if I send stuff away, there's a huge risk factor of it being damaged. Even buying stuff off eBay or Ringside, it's always you're just sweating, waiting to get it. You're like, is there going to be any damage? Is there going to be any damage? And I think as much as I would love to have stuff signed, I think the risk of the damage to the figures would just be too much of a risk.
Just got to wait for them to actually come to New Zealand for a show, eh?
So yeah, if they came to New Zealand, or there was going to be a lot less risky way of doing it, I'd definitely go for it. Or if I ever got the chance to go over there, then definitely. But by sending stuff away, I think I just couldn't risk it, because it's just gutting when you get something cool and it's damaged, and it's happened to probably just about everyone. It's happened to me. It's happened to you. So yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking, eh?
Oh yes. What chases and rares do you currently have?
What chases and rares do I currently have? Okay, well, I've got MJF Series 2 chase. I've got Series 2 John Moxley rare, 1 of 500. The MJF is one of 1,000, by the way. What do we got? Series 3 Riho, 1 of 1,000. Series 4 Cody, 1 of 1,000. Series 5 we got Hangman. Pretty sure it's Hangman. Series 5, 1 of 3,000. Series 6, 1 of 5,000. Jericho. And unmatched Series 1 Darby, 1 of 3,000 again, and possibly a couple more on the way. We'll see what happens.
So how many quantities of drugs per week do you have to sell to keep this collection going?
Yeah, it's getting that way. It's getting that way. Well, it's like what I say to you. You go, "Oh, what drugs are you selling to do this?" And it's what I always say to you. I only collect one thing. I only collect AEW. So yourself, you collect what? AEW, WWE.
I just don't like talking about it, to be fair. It's just too much.
Barbie or
currently
Marvel
WWE, NXT,
or
AEW, Marvel Legends, and Star Wars Black Series.
There you go. So I think it's a lot easier and a lot more obtainable if you're only collecting one thing. That's just my theory anyway. A lot of people collect multiple things, and more power to you. Good on you.
It just shows how psychotic we really are, mate.
Yeah, that's dedication, because there's a lot of stuff to collect, and even just within WWE or WWF, depending the eras you collect, it's just a minefield. There's so much to collect. So, more power to you guys out there that do collect it, because there's so much. Where do you begin? So
yeah,
I was lucky to get in on the start, I think. So with AEW
here too that we didn't really bring up. If you want to say anything on
that. Well, as we mentioned, it got sold on from yourself, and I decided, well, why not? It'd look pretty good with my collection. So got it for a reasonable price, as well as helping a mate out, raise some funds for projects he was doing. So it kind of worked out well for everyone. I think you're a bit gutted to let it go, and
yeah, it wasn't exactly what I thought I'd have to sell, but
Yeah.
Such is life.
It's in good hands, though, at least,
Is it though? Would you travel to Australia to get your AEW figures signed if border restrictions allowed for it?
Would I travel to Australia? Yes, that would be a big possibility. My stepson is actually living over there, and so my wife would very much like to go over there and catch up with them at some point, so we could all tee it up.
Sure.
If that were the case, then it would work out quite well. Have a little holiday over there, catch up with the boy, get some stuff signed, catch a show. Again, all depending on COVID, So
yeah. So Australia has World Series of Wrestling, which have international wrestlers like AEW wrestlers to come over and wrestle.
That would be cool, catching different shows that have AEW wrestlers in them. I mean, I'm all for catching other stuff. At some point, I want to have a look at the NZ wrestling scene. You and me have talked about it. About different things happening and what might be happening in the future and stuff like that. So, I may even try and catch some local stuff sometime and not too far away, hopefully. So, I did.
February sounds like a good time.
Yeah, right.
Would the AEW King ever employ Matt for his court jester? I don't think he could pay me enough.
Definitely. If he's up for
it. Definitely not. Since you were digging at me being a psycho before, have you collected anything other than AEW stuff, figures?
When I was young back in the 80s, I'm really aging myself now. I did collect.
You and Brett are like brothers.
Yeah, he's a little bit older than me, so I'm not the oldest.
Oh, there you go, Brett. You're still the granddad of the group.
I think he's a little bit older than me. I'm sure he is. I collected LJNs back in the day when we were school kids, and that was really all that was sort of available. And I remember my mum bought me the ring and the cage, and she had to get them from the States because you couldn't get that stuff here. So I was collecting a whole heap of LJNs, and I'd take the ring to school, and everyone would bring all their figures and would have all these Royal Rumbles and stuff. And that was really cool. And that was basically when I first started collecting anything. And then after that, it sort of turned into collecting the cards. So I had all 3 series of the WWF cards. All this stuff is like long gone.
So that was
now.
Quite cool getting those in your
Secret Santa. As I was sort of, I don't know if I touched on it with the Secret Santa, but I used to collect those back in the day. So that brought back some really cool memories and made me think, maybe I should try and get some more. And then one of them was the Genius, and I happened to see the Genius wrestle at a show in Wanganui at the Memorial Hall. And I remember Jace doing his interview with you, and he said he went to it. It was Bushwhackers versus Nasty Boys. So we were both at the same show at the time. And that was really cool, just in a little place like Wanganui, hosting some big international WWF wrestlers. So anyway, getting sidetracked. I collected Hot Wheels cars and things like that as well.
I've been there too, unfortunately.
I've been right into cars all my life and whatnot. And the funny thing is, I gave up on the Hot Wheels and the cars and things, and I thought, this is a bit too childish. So I ended up selling them all off. And then what happens? I get into wrestling figures.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I couldn't quite read that. Last one was that Jay.
Jay says, yes, that's right, bro. Lanny Poffo was there too in the Mecca of Wanganui.
Yep. Coco Beware, Jim Powers, Don the Rock, Morocco. Nasty Boys had the title belts, and it was a cool show. Heaps of old school wrestlers.
Sure. And then Waiheke says, the WWF, LJNs, and market scene cards.
They were so cool. They had no movement whatsoever. But you know, at the time, we didn't know anything else. That's what it
Yeah.
was, and we
Yeah.
made them sort of bend and do moves, just you know, and they were really cool.
So are
Granted,
you excited for the AEW LGNs then?
oh, definitely. I mean, to start with, I was kind of like, are they going to be able to pull this off and do it justice? And then when they started doing the unmatched line and Cody came through, and just the way they packaged it, you know, being a tribute back to the old style with the posters inside and everything, I just thought, wow, this is really cool. I actually like this, you know, just having something different within each set. And I sort of said to you, I'm starting to prefer the unmatched line over the unrivaled line, because with every set they're doing something special. It's either an LJN or it's one of these luminaries with, you know, radical sort of cool packaging and things, and they're going a bit of a different way with it, which is
Sure.
I'm really liking. So I'm looking forward to the second set coming out, and then the third set with Dark Order and Darby LJN. So that'll be really cool to see how they do Darby. So
yeah.
and
so would you go back and collect the WWF LGNs?
Would I go back? Oh no, it's just the price of them now is just crazy.
Oh, you paying that for chasers?
Well, I kind of started with, you remember I got those ultimates of Macho Man and Hogan, and then I got that ringside Warrior, and then I thought, oh, I'll just collect a couple of the old school guys just as a side thing. And I thought about it, but then I wanted more. I was like, no, now I've got to have Demolition, I've got to have Jake the Snake, I've got to have Big Boss Man, and it was just another rabbit hole opening up. And I thought, I got to get rid of these because I'm just going to end up doing the same thing. I thought, no.
So that's where I'm very glad that I've been able to control myself with my other collections, like with the Marvel and the Star Wars. It's literally a very side collection.
Yeah.
Like, if there's something that I see come out that's like, holy shit, that is amazing, I will get it.
I tend to, once I start collecting, I just sort of go all out, obviously, which is what I've done with AEW. And yeah, the same thing would happen if I started to get into a certain line of WWF or WWE or whatever. And it's hard enough with the AEW stuff because there's just stuff coming out all the time, and it's, I got to get this.
So do you have an end point with AEW? Is there a point where you're like, okay, I want to get to this point and then I'm slowing down?
No.
Nah.
No. I want to try and get every chase, and I don't feel like I have to have every single thing, like the soft toys and the kids' belts and all that stuff. I don't feel the need for any of that stuff. Just basically the main lines and the chases and I guess the ringside exclusive stuff and the odd sort of thing I probably won't get. But at this stage, I'll keep going with it, you know, while the passion for it's still sort of strong. I may end up passing it on to the kids. My 8-year-old started collecting now, and I can't believe he's keeping things mint on card. You know, he wants to be like Dad and keep everything mint. And I said, "What's up to you, bud? You can play with them, open them, whatever you want to do." He's like, "No, I'm going to collect like you." So good on you, man.
You like to go
better
down.
Than me. I couldn't do that when I was 8. You know.
Just go down, open them all up for him.
Yeah. He was saying, "Oh, I want to chase now." The other day, I was like, "Oh God."
No, that's for Daddy only.
I was like, "They're not cheap, son. They're not cheap."
Do you remember the first LJN you ever received?
First LJN back in the day would have been Hogan with the white singlet on with the Hulkamania across it. So the white and red gear, and he had the championship belt. That would have been my first one.
Right.
I had Anvil, I had a Big John Studd, I had Andre the Giant, Rick Rude. Those are ones that come to mind. I think I had Hitman as well, Warrior. I had heaps of them, but you know, I do remember
as
Hogan.
A completely side question to anything that we were even talking about. Since you're an old school collector, Did you see the Andre the Giant I posted into the group today from Heels and
I,
Phases?
I did. I actually saw something about it on YouTube the other day.
Sure.
I saw the drawing of it, and I thought, wow, if they can pull this off, that would be really cool. And then I saw the figure that you posted, and I thought, wow, that is such an awesome likeness.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I mean, that for me brought back WrestleMania 6 memories. Which is, I think that was the last time he wrestled, or one of the very last times that he wrestled with Haku against Demolition.
You'll know better than me.
And then he did the turn on Heenan and smacked him in the face and hit Haku, and ended up sort of going off being the face. So
yeah, collecting is stressful as well as expensive, and sometimes fun.
I mean, it's you're not wrong. The cost factor is stressful for sure, but when you see something show up and you're like, oh well, this looks so cool or so much better than what you sort of thought or from what you've seen in pictures, because it can be hard to tell how something is from a picture, because even like I was saying the other day with that Derby Unmatched chase, when you guys were doing the show, I kind of thought, oh yeah, it looks so. It doesn't look as good as the Derby and the main line Unmatched. And then when I got it here, I was like, actually, wow, that is actually quite a cool figure. I kind of prefer it over the Derby and the main line. So
fully.
Sometimes when you get something, it's like, well, it's so much better than I thought, and it's worth it then,
Yeah. No, you're fully right. Like he says, for both of you, if you could create the next line of AEW wrestlers only using wrestlers who haven't had a figure yet, who would you have? I'll let you go first. Unless you really want me to go first. You can choose. You're the guest.
Well, Punk needs a figure. He's got one coming. I'm just trying to think who hasn't got a figure. I would like to see Marco. I'd like to see a Marco Stunt figure. He hasn't had anything done. I don't know if he will. They haven't actually been showing a lot of him. Just trying to think. Hook. He would be another cool one.
Yeah. I think I got mine.
To have a figure. I'm on the spot trying to think.
I think I got mine. If you want to have a rest.
Taz.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah.
Be nice to see a Taz figure. It'd be cool to see a Jake the Snake figure, actually. So some of the people behind the scenes, or managers, be nice to see Jake have a more recent sort of figure. Actually, I'd probably like to see a line. Thinking about it, I would like to see a line with the likes of Arn, Tully, Jake, people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Maybe Justin Roberts, Tony Khan, all those guys. So
sure,
I think a collection of all of them would be great. JR,
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you my 6, and this is unmatched, so that I can have one luminary. My luminary would be, actually no, we'll do the luminary last. My line would be, QT Marshall, Aaron Solo.
Yeah.
What is it? Anthony Ogogo? Is that his name? I think that's his name. Yeah. So we got those 3, and then we'll go JR, Tony Khan, and then we would go Arn Anderson, manager for the luminaries, and then the chase would be throwback Arn.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then who would you put as chase? Maybe probably Tony Khan, 2 different suits.
Yeah. Or even maybe have Arn and Tully and have a throwback to the Brainbusters or something along those lines.
Thanks,
Might be going
Jace.
too far back though.
Nah. So the reason I said that is because obviously I've been working with QT on that figure, but
Yeah,
I'm really
yeah.
big on I'm really big on having a full faction. I don't
Yeah.
like having one figure. Like, for example, at the moment in AEW, you can't have Cody without Arn. So that's why I said Arn manager, because it needs to happen.
Yeah. I mean, they're close to doing a set like they're doing Unmatched 3, which is Dark Order, but then they've gone and thrown in Darby as the extra.
Yeah, I
So
thought that was a
I
little
mean, they
strange,
could have
but
easily. There's more than enough people in the Dark Order to, to give you that set. So, but I don't know, is what it is. I know they have to cater to demand and what the kids want.
yeah, and we all know Darby sells.
Yeah, he does. So there's always Young Bucks, Darby, Jericho, Mox, so they're always going to be in most of the sets. So.
All right, I've got a really hard-hitting question for you here now, Dion. There can only be one answer to this. What is your favorite piece of AEW whatever in your collection?
My favorite, it'd have to be my Mox 1 of 500. I think solely, it's a cool figure, but I think just the rarity of it, because even though it's a 1 of 500, within that 500 there's 3 variations, and it's the only AEW figure that has, or the only rare that has 3 variations. So it's got 2 different French variations, and then just the standard variation. And the French ones, one of the French ones has basically Series 2, and then underneath it, it's got Series 2 written in French. And then the other variation has that, but it also says 1 of the 500 on the sticker. And that's the super rare version. And no one knows the exact numbers, but I don't know, maybe there's only 100 or so, or even maybe less of that variation of the 1 of 500. So it's just super, super rare. So that's what's my favorite.
Yeah, Jay says he was at that show that Mox wore the eye patch.
Oh, wow. Wicked.
Yeah, very cool.
That's another chase I do want to get, where he's wearing the eye patch. But that was the whole eye for an eye thing, when in a circle we're all heel, and you got the old stab going on, doing the big rivalry thing, and and that case came from him not joining. So
so outside of your AEW collection, what do you do? Who's Dion?
What do I do? Big family man. I've got my 8-year-old boy, plus I've got a little 7-month-old. I was almost going to say 7-year-old, but 7-month-old. They're all away in Napier at the moment, so I got the house to myself, which is nice for a few days. But I'm starting to miss them a bit. But so I like doing stuff with the family. My wife and I have a couple quad bikes. And I've got mates with dirt bikes, so I like going out riding in the forests and out the beach.
This is where you want that image.
my racing quad there, yeah, that's good fun tearing it up on that. I'm not 20 anymore, so the old 2-wheelers are a bit harder on the body. So I sit on the lounge chair, as people call them. So I like getting out there and riding the bikes and stuff with the fam and mates and things like that. So yeah, basically I've said this to you a couple of times. Most of my mates and stuff aren't into wrestling anymore or collecting. I've got one mate that collects die-cast cars. That's about it. But the rest of my mates are into either dirt bikes or cars and things like that. So the whole wrestling thing is more just with mates and stuff, and yourself, people I've met through the group. And then I've got, different sort of interests and different things going on sort of outside of the group. So it's cool to have the wrestling thing on one end and do all that, but then get away from it and do these other things with family and mates and stuff like that. So it's good.
Yeah. Does -1 need to be an actual wrestler before he gets a figure?
That's a tricky question, eh? They've made him such a big part of AEW. I don't think he needs to have a contract to get a figure. I don't see anything wrong with it. It
Yeah.
may upset some people,
I think
possibly.
the only way it happens is like a ringside exclusive with Brody or something.
Oh, definitely. They could do an exclusive, and that would be totally cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm stoked with how they handled that whole Brody thing, and helping out the family, and just how everyone's just sort of taken young Brody Lee, -1 on board, and just basically being big brothers to him, letting him go on the
Yeah.
blog, being part of the shows, tagging along, and just being there for him and giving them time, and out of their schedule and stuff, which is really cool. They don't have to do that, but
Yeah, for
they
sure.
have, and the talk is that he'll have a contract when he's 18, which he's been given, and he has the option to, whether or not, but it looks like he probably will, because he loves it. He's just always a part of it. So I don't see any reason he couldn't have a figure. As you say, an exclusive would be ideal.
Do
Him
you
and
think?
Brody.
Do you think even maybe like the conversation even with Marco has been, you put them in the set as an accessory type thing? You know what I mean? Because they're going to be so small that you almost make them like the accessory of
how you
someone.
gonna fill up the box? Eh?
Yeah, but you know what I mean, right? Like,
yeah.
you could have, like, for example, that Jungle Express 2-pack that could have
That's
quite
the thing
easily
I was
fit.
just about to say. Yeah, the 2-pack. There's no reason they couldn't have squeezed him in something like that.
Yeah,
Instead of the extra hands, or whatever. But I know they put so much effort into these box sets that they kind of blow out the budget and maybe can't always get everything in there. But that would
sure.
probably be the best way to get Marco in there, would be just a Jurassic Express set, and the same with young Brody Lee, just in a set. To have it by itself in a box, it would be very hard to fill that box up.
Yeah, you'd have to do a whole lot of different accessories to go with it as well, I think.
You would.
And at that point, it would probably look
to be
overcrowded.
fair, they don't really have a lot of accessories with their gimmicks and things. So,
Nah.
it
would be quite funny, like the Amazon 2-packs, but in the middle, instead of the accessories, you have Marco Stunt.
Yeah. It'd be perfect in like a little 3-pack or a 2.5-pack, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And at that one, I don't think people would be mad that it's a repack if you get Marco with it,
No, definitely. And people have been screaming out for Marco, at least, anyway,
Well, it's just that thing of, you want to be able to complete that faction.
Oh, definitely. And now Christian Cage seems to be pretty much part of it as well.
Oh, there you go. Christian Cage and Unrivaled whatever can come with a Marco Stunt accessory.
Well, this is it. So, yeah, you got a few ways you could go with
what
it.
does he come with normally? Just a singlet. That's all he's come out with, really, right?
Yeah,
so his figure's not going to be high budget.
No.
Unless they retool everything for him. There we go. Exactly. Maybe that's what we're getting. Marco Stunt with Christian Cage. What a pack.
Yeah.
There you go. What do you think about that one? Maybe a -1 figure with his dad looking over him for the backdrop, maybe. Or have him in a dual set with 10.
Yeah, with 10 would work, because he's quite he's quite tight with 10. I saw
and he runs to the ring on his shoulders and stuff normally, right?
Yeah. And I watched a video.
Quite cool for packaging. I
watched a unboxing that Ringside were doing, because they do quite a few unboxings with -1, and 10 was in the background out of gimmick, and I think it might have been on an AEW Figs group page. I saw it, and people were saying, "Who's that guy in the background?" Thinking, "What's this?" It's like, dude, that's 10. Like, oh, okay. and don't realize that he's, so close with the family. So
Yeah,
it wouldn't be out of place at all to have him and Ten
sure.
together, because they are really, really close. So
Does AEW release an Owen Hart thing? Yes, they've already said they are. What
Mm.
era of Owen Hart do they do?
Oh, that's a good
That
question.
hasn't been announced.
I wasn't really watching WWE when Owen was around. I'd sort of given up on it by that
Yeah.
stage.
I feel they
I
won't be able
know
to
of
do
him,
anything
and
in
I know of the
WWE.
circumstances and everything. So it's a difficult one for me to answer. But
Yeah,
the images I have sort of seen look pretty cool. And I mean, I don't know what the era is, but when he's wearing similar outfits to Brett, where he's wearing like his black gear, I think with the pink outline and has the whole heart going on it. I don't know what era that is, but that was pretty cool. I think that's probably the best look I actually like from him when he's wearing his black gear with the pink.
The only thing
sort of
I can
on it.
see is I don't know how AEW is going to get past the WWE infringement of doing something that was televised by them. Their best bet is probably like New Japan or something along those lines, something outside of WWE or WWF, whichever.
Yeah,
It'll be
I see
interesting to
they're
see because
announcing.
there's so many options, so many possibilities.
Yeah, I see that they're announcing a couple of tournaments as well for the Owen Hart
That's
trophy.
starting like this week, isn't it? And it's culminating at
There's
Double
like
or
a male
Nothing?
tournament and a female tournament. Yeah, which is really cool. It's good that they're doing stuff with them, and hopefully by the end of it, we might see more about a figure coming through. So, but I mean, to be honest, any Owen Hart figure will be cool.
That's the thing, right? Like people have been screaming and waiting for one for that long that I think whatever you get, people are going to be happy with. Really,
That's
how could you not?
I'll be happy with any figure they do of them, and just what I've sort of seen out there on the net of different images and what people are sort of thinking about. If they do something along those lines, it'd be really, really cool.
Yeah. All right. Final question for you, and it's even harder than the other one. With your chases and rares only, destroy one, open one, and never be able to sell one. What do you do?
Destroy is easy. Riho. I really can't stand her, eh? It's like I said to you, I've only got that chase just for the sake of having the chase. Because as a wrestler, I'm just not into her at all. Just
real quick before you carry on, if anyone has any other questions, drop them in now because we're going to close this up real soon. So if you got questions, drop them in. Otherwise, we'll close this up real soon. Carry on with your amazingly hard game.
Riho would be the one destroyed. Open. Probably Darby. Unmatched Darby, because there's so much to look at. He's got his skateboard with all the details on it. He's got all the face paint. He's got a lot going on. So there's a lot to appreciate just on the figure itself. So I think if I was going to open something, it would be a figure that has a lot to it that you can sort of look at and think, wow, okay, and just appreciate the detail that's gone into it. So it'd be Darby for sure. Never sell. Probably Mox again, 1 of 500. It wouldn't be, because that's a special figure again to me, just because of how rare it is. And there's not really going to be that they got rid of the whole 1 of 500 thing. There was only 4 figures that had that, and I will try and get them all. But again, with that one having the 3 versions of the 500, it's just a rare special figure, and it's not about selling it and trying to make heaps off it. It's just about having something really cool that not a lot of other people do. So that'd be the one that I'd never sell. So that'd be my 3.
Cool. I guess just one last question, just in case someone's typing something. If Jeremy rang you up, right, and was like, okay, Dion, we're going to make one figure of your choice. You choose the attire, you choose the packaging, You choose everything. We'll have it on your doorstep tomorrow. What is it?
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. That's. Ooh, man, that's a tricky one. I think.
There we go. I stumped you.
I think it'd be Punk. Because he's one of my all-time favorite, and he's back in wrestling now, which is just awesome. I never thought I'd see the day where he would make the comeback or even come into AEW, but he did. And I think the packaging. We were talking about the other day. There was an AEW Chicago jacket at AEW shop. And to me, looking at it, that just reminisced CM Punk. And you're saying, yeah, but it's not about Punk, it's about Chicago. But like I was saying to you, every time I see those Chicago colors, I see those stars, I think Punk straight away. So I think if they did the packaging up in the Chicago stars type of scheme, even with a pipe bomb image on there somewhere, would be really, really cool. As far as what he would be wearing,
and again, I haven't limited you to AEW.
Yeah,
it's just what will he be wearing?
Yeah. I think he'd be holding an ice cream bar as an accessory.
Oh God.
And I think I'd just be happy enough with his t-shirt, like the one I've got, which is the old WWE one, with his best in the world, and just that gear, which is sort of, I think that was one of the last
with the Chicago color types and all that, right?
Yeah. When he left WWE, there wasn't too much after that. So I think that color scheme, that shirt, and just the whole Chicago thing would be really, really cool for me. I'm just a massive CM Punk fan, as sort of see by this. So I think something done up all CM Punk scheme would be really, really cool. I'd be happy enough with that. So
awesome. Well, on that note, I'm going to say thank you for joining us on this members interview, the last one for the year.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything you would like to say to close off the show?
Just thank you to everyone in the group for just putting up with the stuff that you and me sort of come up with, and sort of not being too harsh about it, I guess. And just everyone have a great Christmas, and keep up the positivity and sharing of everyone's collections and things. It's great. It's awesome to be a part of something, with so many like-minded people, and it doesn't matter whether it's AEW, WWE, WWF, NZ Wrestling, WCW, whatever. Everyone's got the same common goals. We all like collecting, whatever it is, and just supporting each other. Giving each other sort of credit and things like that. With whatever they want to choose, and just keeping things positive. So, just want to say thank you to everyone for just the positivity and stuff. So, it's been really, really
awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Cheers, Dion. And I still can't believe you're making me give this away. But just
That's right.
so I'm coming for that crown one day, mate.
It'll be here waiting. You got some work to do.